Hello, hello. Apologies for the delay. How is everybody doing? We're going to give it a few more minutes, let people filter in. And we'll get the beginning stuff out the way, and then I got an announcement pertaining to the giveaway. Which, yes, I know is already supposed to happen. But life happens. Forgot to switch this over. There we go. Hey, Richard. We still got silver hovering at around 36 and a half. Kind of curious to see how high it's going to make it. Wonder if it's going to get back to 40 again. Is it that bad? Honestly, when I put it up, I didn't realize that it was actually a moving GIF. I thought it was just a picture of Earth. I can switch it if you guys need me to. I figured I'd have some fun triggering any flat earthers that happen across my channel. Give me a sec. Is that better? Now you won't be distracted by a spinning earth. All right, 2 more minutes, then we're going to get going. Glad to hear it. So, I don't want to trigger you too bad, Westside, but you do in fact live on a giant spinning earth. No. Hey, Dave. Yeah, it's my self-portrait. I love that picture because of the fact that the critter you see in the picture actually hit the button. So it's basically the first time an animal took a selfie. And then there was a big legal case on whether or not the person whose camera it was could actually call it his and have it copyrighted, protected, or if it in fact belonged to the critter in the photo. I don't remember what the ruling was. Just 1 or 2 deer trying to type Ben before Richard. So you have it preloaded, so all you have to do is hit enter. Alright, for anybody new, payments made via PayPal. Use Cheapskate Coins at gmail.com and use goods and services only, please. We also have Cash App using the same email. Well, I didn't send a typical invoice. I did. So we also have Cash App using the same email, cheapskatecoins at gmail.com. If you use Cash App, it will say Louis Kachera. That's me. You are in the right place. Shipping is $6 to $23. $6 being a little purple bubble mailer, $23 being a large flat rate box. Is it real? Yes, it's real. If you want your package sent registered, it's additional $35 charge on top of that. It's the only way you can insure your coins all the way through the mail. Keep in mind, if you do register, you will have to sign for it when it arrives. If you're new, you can't get stuff tonight. You just have to send me an email by the end of the night. The email has to have your personal info, shipping info, channel name, which payment method you're going to use, and what email you use for that payment method for invoicing purposes. If I don't get that email, you will not get anything, and I never ship without payment. We also hold packages, so if you want your package held so you can maximize your shipping, feel free to ask us to hold your package. I do always recommend send us an email asking us to hold it just in case it flies by in chat real fast and we don't catch it. And of course, you don't have to fill it all the way up. If you just get tired of waiting, all you have to do is then, shoot us an email or one of the streams and be like, hey, give me my stuff. All right, here is our Facebook link. If If you're on Facebook, go give us a follow. Tonight's lot list is on there. It is the top post. We do put the lot list on there every day we have a sale. We also have a mailing list. If you want to be on the mailing list, shoot me an email, cheapskatecoins@gmail.com, and say add me to the mailing list. If you're on the mailing list, you will get the lot list a couple of days before every sale. And as soon as it hits your email, you have the ability to pre-purchase items. It is first come, first served, just like our sales. So if you want something, don't wait, jump on it. And we do not charge right away for pre-sales. We wait until after the sale and invoice everybody together. And then, of course, once we put the lot list on Facebook the day of the sale, anything that went in pre-purchase has been removed. Actually, I had one person do pre-purchase this week. Bought a few of the Merc Dimes. Now, Dandy Dave, if you get too many items and it's too big of a list, PayPal won't let me do it. They won't let me put the full list. So if you ever need the full list, just let me know and I'll email it to you. If that's what you're referring to. It just means that you got too much stuff and Facebook wouldn't let me put that much text. But I have no problem if anybody ever needs your invoice emailed to you, just let me know. Shoot me an email and let me know. That way I remember. I can respond to it right away and just put it in there on the response. Alright. I know I was supposed to do the giveaway last week. Sorry I didn't do it. It was a bad week. I'm just going to leave it at that. So I'm going to be doing it tonight, directly following the sale. So after the sale gets done, I'm going to get off the stream. I'm going to get everything together, and then I'm going to start a new stream for the giveaway. As usual, you do not have to be there. Being that this is the last of the monthly loots giveaways for the foreseeable future, because just financial reasons, it took me a while to figure out even what I wanted to do for it being the last one, because the whole point of that one was to like show appreciation for you guys. So I finally decided I'm just going to do something for all of you. So anybody whose name is on the list, and again, that was anybody who got something in April or May, I'm doing something for all of you. That's what I finally decided. Was no list. Are you still talking on PayPal, or are you talking about you didn't get this week's lot list? You are very welcome, sir. You did it at 4 p.m. I emailed it out yesterday at 6:45 a.m. my time. That's when it went out. Sometimes emails take a while to hit your email. I can't do nothing about that. I've had times that my wife texted me something and then went to work, texted me right when she got there, and then like 5 hours after she got home the next day, my phone dings and it's that text. I don't know if it just gets like clogged up in buffers or what, but it happens. Wonderful technology. All right, so yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something for everybody, and then I will also be doing the sellout giveaway for that one sellout that we did. It's not a big one because I think it was only like $65 or something was the percentage from that particular sale. But I have something for that one, and I think it's cool. I wanted to do something different. I think it's neat. Hopefully you guys like it. So yeah. So again, that will be a separate sale tonight, right after the stream. PayPal? Oh. Did you step away when I explained that? If you get too many items, if your list is too long of things that you got, PayPal won't let me put that much text in the little box. There's a limit. So when that happens, I just have to send you a request that just says your total from stuff for tonight. But like I said, whatever, if you need the list, all you have to do is email me and be like, hey, can you send me the itemized list? And I will email it to you. No problem. I've often wondered, of all of you that I sell coins to, how many of you that keep the packages here actually keep track of what you got so that you remember and you don't accidentally buy like 6 of the same thing? I hope you guys are all keeping track. But all right, let's get this thing going. I'm already 40 minutes into this stream and we haven't even started yet. Let's kick this thing off. All right, starting as always with world banknotes. You don't keep track? You're kind of like a bulk collector too, though. All right, first item up. We have 2 available. It is the 1964 10-cent fractional banknote. Exactly. So for you, it doesn't matter. They are uncirculated and $2 each. Anybody? That would be considered a fancy note. It's got 222. And they're not consecutive, but they are from the same series. Because you got 2226 and 2244. And Chef is grabbing them both. Gratzer. All right, next up, also 2 available 1993 10 Mongo from Mongolia. These are fractional uncirculated banknotes. They kind of look like Monopoly money. They're also from the same series, AA 21487, and you have 69 and 87. So we get those side by side. That's your 2 serial notes, or your serial numbers. Hey, Wayne. You have a Dansko 7070 type coin book coming. Cool. Hey, your package is on the way, Wayne. Anybody? I didn't email all the tracking numbers out like I normally do. I just realized that. No, I just sent them out yesterday. But, Wayne, Thomas Toon, Brian and the Twins, Scott Christensen, and James Adams. If any of you see this, your packages went out yesterday. All right, moving on. Next up, also two available, 1993 20 bongos from Mongolia. Uncirculated notes. I tell you what, we've also got the 50 Mongo. Two available, uncirculated. If anybody wants a set of all three, I'll do it for $5. I'll give you $1 off. So you get the 10, the 20, and the 50. Obviously, I can do the set 2 times. One set going to Wayne. And one to be our chef. Alright, let me fix these real quick. Oh wait, I can't do the 10s. Sorry. I forgot Chef bought those. Oh wait, no he didn't. He bought the other ones. Never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. That was the Indonesias that Chef already got. All right, so yeah, let me fix these real quick. Ah. $1.50 for that one, not $150. There we go. All right, got it. All right, that's Chef for one of those. Chef for one of those and one of those. And then Wayne. Whoa. Why did my caps lock go? Stop it. All right. That was annoying. All right. On set for Chef. Need Wayne's card. And unfortunately, Wayne, since you told me to send your package out, you're going to have new shipping. Hey, Moose. All right, last banknote tonight. Also 2 available. Also a fractional. Tonight was night of the fractional banknotes. 1980 1 GAW from China. Uncirculated, $2. 2 available. Again, same series, MH886742, and then you got 14 and 32. Last 2 banknotes. Let's do a clean sweep of the banknotes. Somebody grab them. One going to Chef. Somebody grab the last one. And one going to Dandy Dave. By the way, and your invoice on PayPal, it will not say China next to it because that flags PayPal. It'll just say a 1 GAW banknote. Which I don't know why. Considering 80% of what we get here is from China. All right. Coinage. World Silver Time. Kicking off tonight with Britain. And we are starting off with some 6-pence coins. Which means scope. I got 2 6-pences. First one. 1942 AU. Actually, I got 3 of my line. I just forgot to put one of them on the list. So, well, we'll start off with this one. So here's 1942 AU going for $5, 50% silver. It's a good looking 6-pence. Anybody? All right, moving on to the 1943. This one is a BU for $15. All right, moving on. No love for 6-pences, I see. All right, I did have one more that I forgot to put on the list, so I'm going to add it down at the bottom real fast. Okay. It is saying it's on there. Where is it? What? Did I get out of order or something? Oh, no, there it is. I'm just blind. God, I'm having a bad night. All right, here's the other one. For some reason, I didn't notice it was there. 1933. This one is in fine. It is toned for $5. Possible argument could be made for low VF. Maybe like a VF 20. Anybody? I need to get some more British collectors up in here. moving on. Two florins. Kicking off florins is 1923. 50% silver. It is a VG for $8. Melt on these right now is like $6.50. Believe it or not, even at 50% silver. See, let's see. Let me see the exact number here. So, exact melt right now. Oh, it's actually more. It's $6.66 right now. Just the melt value on the 50% silver florins alone from Britain. So that's what, a $1.34 over melt. And going to Dandy Dave. Congrats, sir. Next up, also at $8, the 1941. This one is in a VF for $8. So again, $1.34 over melt. Any takers? All right, moving on to the 1942 VF for $8. Anybody? All right, moving on. And last of the florins is the 1944. This one's in an EF, going for 10. A little bit of toning going on. Anybody? So we'll do a little bundle deal on these. If anybody wants all, excuse me, if anybody wants all three, I'll do all three for 22. That's for the florins. 6-pence bundle. I could go 21 on the sixpences. That'd be $4 off. So, $22 for florins, 21 for sixpence for bundles. You got it, Chef. All right, let me adjust these all real quick. So it makes that 4, 4, and 13. And then that makes this one 7, 7, and 8. Alrighty. Senior citizen discount. Alright. Next up, crowns. Well, half crowns. There is one actual crown, but right now we're on half crowns. Got 1922 half crown. Going for $12. It isn't a good. So melt on these guys right at the moment. Melt on these guys right at the moment is $8.33. All right, moving on to the 1928. This one's in a VG for 12. Guess closed. If anybody wants both of these, I'll do both for $20. $4 off. Makes them $10 each. And Doug's taking that deal. How you doing, Doug? Doug, don't forget you got your second half payment coming up for that consignment sale. All right. And I did say that we have one actual crown today. Also, for some reason, referred to as the 25 new pence. I don't know why. $1977 crown. 925 sterling silver proof. And that's a good looking proof. 377,000 minted. I'd like to get 45 out of it, but I do have some wiggle room. Not like a lot, but I do have some. Not the copper nickel one. Come on, could be dumb. Keeps wanting to give me the freaking... There's a copper nickel version of this one as well, and there's also the silver version. There we go. So, let me show you real quick. I'm not looking at chat, by the way, so if anybody's saying anything, I'm not seeing it. I just want to show this first. What am I doing? Properties, doing. There we go. So here it is on Numista. See, I don't know why they call them the 25 dew pence and a crown, but they basically count as both. But 925 sterling silver, 28.28 grams. Mintage, 377,000. Current bullion value, just the melt value, is $30.82. So there you go. Yeah, it's the Silver Jubilee coin. And again, I do have some wiggle room on it. Lowest I can go on it would be 40 bucks. So about 40 bucks. Anybody want it for 40? All right. Moving on. That's the first item that didn't sell. All right. Next up, 1960 20 drachma from Greece. 83.5% silver, VF, 12 bucks. Little Greek Isle silver. Anybody? Going to Chef, Gratzer. Next up, we got some coins from Canada tonight. Starting with some fish scales, the little silver 5 centers. And these are some oldies. 1888, 5 center. 925 sterling silver in good, $7. Some Victorian era silver. You know, let me go to the scope. I think they're too small. Scopage. Here we go. 1888. Anybody? All right, moving on. And also got the 1889. This one isn't a good. It is hold. I forgot to put that on there. So I'll actually do this one for $8. Because it's hold. I'll go $8 on this one. Anybody at $8? There's another Christmas ornament for your tree, Doug. And then during the non-holiday, you can have it as a placeholder in your album. All right, moving on. And the last of the 5 centers is the 1913 VF. It does have some rim damage. King George the Older. But it is VF details. It's just, you can see it's got a couple dings on the rim there. Couple dings on the rim on the back. Alright, tell you what, for these, if anybody wants all 3, I'll do all 3 for $18. A 3D print of your profile to pour your own coin? Yeah, why not? Man, nobody wants these at that. Alright. Finally got one person that realizes what kind of a deal that is. Going to Chef. You just got those all for $6 a piece, dude. That is a really good deal for silver 5 centers. with a chef hat on. All right, 10 cents. Oop, let me go back to the scope. There we go. 10 centers, starting off 1910. We actually got a King Edward. This one's in a good for $8. 925 sterling. All right, moving on to the 1916 10 cent. This one's in a VG. NGC list on this one is $30. I'm doing it for 15 in a VG. So this thing's at half of list. Nothing else, just do a 3-ring binder with the 2x2 pages. That's what my whole collection is. Far cheaper than doing like Danskos or anything. Plus the world ones are really hard to find. All right, moving on. Last of the dimes. The 2020. Last year of the sterling. Then it switches to the 80 percenters. Something good for $6. 1920. All right, and if anybody wants to do all three of these, I will do it for, let's see, would have been $29. I'll do all three for 24. $5 off if you get all three. And Doug, Moose Sox beat you by a hair. Yeah, he was fast on that one. Yep, you got it, Moose Socks. Excuse me. All right, quarters. Canadian quarters. Kicking off with an oldie. At 925 sterling silver. 1912 in good for 12 bucks. Anybody? Check something real quick. That's what I thought. Okay. I need to correct that real quick. Where'd it go? There it is. All right, moving on. To 1917 in good for 12 bucks. Another 925 sterling. Here, this way you can actually see the date. 1917. Here's the obverse. Let me re-show that other one. Having tequila and watching an auction. Right? Wake up tomorrow and realize, holy crap, how much did I spend? Here's the 1912. Anybody? All right, moving on. Next up is the 1919. Yeah, but by then you'll be passed out. This one's going for 10 bucks. All right, moving on. To the 1920. This one's 80% silver in good for $8. All right, moving on. Last of the quarters, 1930. This one's in a good for $10. If anybody wants a bundle on all the quarters, I can do a bundle. It won't be like earth-shattering, but I can do a bundle. Let me see. That's for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarters. 3 of them are sterling silver. I can knock $8 off the top. So it'd be $10, $10, $10, $8, $8. All right. Okay, so that one goes from 12 to 10, 12 to 10, 10 to 8. That one stays as 8, and that one goes 8. All right. Hold it. Give me a rubber band. All right, 2 more coins from Canada. They are 50 centers. $19.58 is the first one. 80% silver AU. $16. Ooh, clear. That's a very shiny coin. Oops. All right, so melt on these right now is $11.01. And I don't know if you guys have ever really looked into Canadian half dollars, but every single year is low mintage. So you got 1958, 2.9 million, 1957, 2.17 million, 1956 was 1.37 million, 1955, 753,000, 1954, 506,000. All the 50 cents from Canada are all very low mintage. All right, moving on to the 1966 BU. This one's going for 15. It's the same coin. I just put the wrong one up. There we go. There it is. Wow. Check that out. And best I can do is a little deal on these is if anybody wants both of them, I can do both for 28. That makes them 14 bucks each if you get both. Saves you $3. Best I can do. Somebody grab it. Let's clean sweep to Canada. Come on. All right, moving on. Hey, you guys are doing pretty good. So far, there's only 3 coins that haven't sold. It's those 2 and that British crown. All right, next up, we got 1 coin from Belgium. Land of giant waffles. It is 1949, 20 francs. So, got some schmutz on his face. She used a freezer trick. That'll get that right off. 83.5% silver VF for 12 bucks. Don't be afraid of a little schmutz on his face. I don't know what it is. It's like some black crud. You can still see his face. You see the whole face outline. Like, I don't know, it might be some toning or something. I don't know. But you can still make out the whole face. Here, tell you what, just because it's got the weirdness to it, how about 10? Anybody want it for 10? It's a good deal for 10. Belgian waffle syrup. And Chef's taking it for the 10. Grats, sir. See, Chef's a chef. He's not afraid of a little schmutz. All right. Next up, Australia. And kicking off with 3 pence, so back to the scope. All right, let's clear some Australias out. 1942D, 3 pence. 925 sterling silver, BU toned. 12 bucks. Every time Chef types bin, you take a shot. Anybody? It's a pretty cool toning. It's kind of weird under the camera, but to the naked eye, it looks actually pretty cool. It's like, it's almost like goldish and blue almost. All right, moving on. To the 1944S. VF for $5. Sounds like it's just on your side, Wayne. Might be a connection issue. All right, moving on. Next up is Florins. Starting with the 1942 AU. 925 sterling silver, 18 bucks. That is a gorgeous coin. I'm fully green on both sides, so it's, if you guys are having issues, that's on YouTube's end. You almost bought a $450 coin to avoid $3 shipping. Ouch. Finally found a computer I want on eBay, but I gotta save up enough money for it. It's actually an old school, because I want to be able to play some of the old games. So it's an old Windows 98 second edition system. Those things are getting hard to find that actually work. All right, moving on. To the 1943. This one's VF for 16. Gettysburg half. Nice. It's definitely a nice coin. Alright, moving on. By the way, if anybody wants Australia bundles, let me know. Then we got 1954. These are into the 50% years. This one's AU. Go over 12 bucks. Alright, moving on. Then the last two are 1966 50 centers. They're both AU. One of them's toned, one's not. They're both 14 bucks each. That's the toned one. It's got like a weird, very odd toning. That's the other guy get these. That's got to be album toning. And then here is the other one. And then if anybody wants to buy the entire Australia pile, I can knock 15 bucks off the top. That's the Australia bundle. So let me do math real quick. If I'm doing my math right, that would make it 76 bucks for all of them. That's 15 bucks off. Anybody? Anybody want the bundle? I think I'm gonna quit getting Australia coins, man. I just cannot sell them anymore. Like, nobody wants them. I had some not that long ago that were basically out for melt and nobody wanted them. Alright. Moving on. I don't know what this sudden hatred for Australia is. Next up is 1966 5 kroner from Sweden. 40% silver, BU, 18 bucks. That is a pretty coin. Ain't about it. Alright, moving on. I hear it. Next up, Netherlands. Got 2 coins from the Netherlands tonight. First one is 1967 1 gulden. 72% silver. Beautiful BU. 10 bucks. Hey, all things in moderation, right? Including coins and tequila. And going to chef. Right, and then the other coin from the Netherlands. 1961 2.5 gulden. Also BU. This one's going for 28. Tell you what, just to be nice for tonight only, I will go 25 on this one. No, it's not quite that big. Going to ship for 25. So it's bigger than a $50, but smaller than a silver dollar. All right, next up, 1 coin tonight from France. 1963 5 francs. 83.5% silver. AU, 18 bucks. Ain't about it. Yeah, it's a nice one for sure. Alright, moving on. Ooh, just about knocked my drink over. $16, yeah, I can do it at 16. Going to Mr. Chef for 16. All right. Next up, I got 2 coins from Austria. First one, you guys know these. 1780X Thaler. 83.5% silver, BU, 35 bucks. Should be a more interactive party. Get everybody on camera so you have proof that they're actually taking their shots every time you get something. So current melt on this guy right here is $27.62. Just for the silver melt. And this one's going to Richard Gratzer. All right, Richard, tell Westside he has to take a shot. Get you in on that party. All right, and then the other one is a 1976 V 100 shillings, 64% silver, AU, 28 bucks. So it has edge print on it. It's a big, thick coin. And that is the Innsbruck Olympic coin. And my birth year. Where'd it go? Here one. And current melt on this one is $18.15. A lot of people in here are older than me. I'll be 49 next month. If anybody wants to send me birthday presents, I accept gold. Preferably by the kilo. All right. moving on. Alright, next one. I am amazed I still have this coin. I've had this coin out probably 3 or 4 times and nobody's gotten it. It's also from my birthday. Or my birth year. And only 40,000 of these were ever made. 1976, 25 ringgit from Malaysia. And that's just a cool design. Come on. 925 sterling silver BU. NGC list $110. And I'm only doing it for 60, guys. Come on. $8,008 mintage. Nice. Well, see, now you need the BU to go with it. I'll tell you what, I'll make it less than half of list. Tonight only. I'll do it for 50 bucks. And Richard is grabbing that one. Congrats, sir. All right, next up, got a couple of coins from Venezuela. For those of you that like the Central American coinage. First one, bit of an oldie. 1904, 2 Bolivar. 83.5% silver VG. Only 550,000 of these were ever made. Probably 80% of them have been melted down by now. Going for 15 bucks. Sent my son to a local dealer to sell $218 in gold. Knew he wouldn't give me that much. He offered $150. I told my son to ask $170. He took it. Thankfully, he only paid $140. Hey, at least you made a little bit of money on it. You're welcome. Yeah, on average, your basic coin dealer is usually going to charge $300 per ounce over spot. And if they buy it from you, they're going to buy it for an average of $200 under spot per ounce. And this one's going to Chef. Right, sir. So keep that in mind when you go to, sell gold. You want to make sure that it's appreciated in value enough to cover that overage. And then the second one from Venezuela is 1936, 2 Bolivar. And a fine for 14 bucks. Yeah, the only time you're going to get over spot is if it's one of them where the numismatic value of the coin is worth more than spot. But like for your basic gold eagles, no. Definitely not. I don't know. I've never owned any gold other than the stuff I've had temporarily before you guys bought it. But in my personal collection, I have never owned gold. Probably never will. Yeah, for example, the one with the Indian head on it is worth more than spot. The buffalo ones are worth more than spot. All right, moving on. Yep. Next up, we got one coin from India, from the British India years. It's a 1944 B. B for Bombay. Half rupee. 50% silver, AF toned. Going for $8. My wedding ring is stainless steel. Going to Chef. Gratzer. If my wedding ring was gold, I would have destroyed it already. I knew that right off the bat, so I made sure that when I did mine, this is mine. I got stainless steel. All right, next up, got 4 coins from the Bahamas. Shots, shots, shots. Keep those shots going. Westside, you better be keeping up your side of that. You're the one that said you're going to take a shot every time. Do it! All right, first 2 are 1966 50 centers. 80% silver, extremely fine. They're both extremely fines. $12 each. 701,000 minted originally. Anybody? $12 a piece. One going to Chef. Any takers on the second? It's actually not far off from melt on these too. The thing on some of these coins I've had sitting around for a while is silver's gone up quite a bit. So a lot of these are creeping right up. One to Dandy Dave. Alright, now that they're both sold, let me see what the... Let me see if I just gave them to you guys for under melt. See, that was 1966, 50 cent, Bahamas. Alright, no, I did not sell them for under melt, so that's good. $19.80 is the melt on those right now. And then the melt on the next 2 coming up is $32.55 each. And that is the 1966 $2 925 sterling silver BU 104,000 minted. Over $40. And the proof version of the same coin at only 23,000 minted. So you got gorgeous BU with that nice satin finish, and then the proof decam. And I'm going to do you guys a screaming deal tonight. If anybody wants both, so you have the BU and the proof, I will do it. I will match my birth year. $76 for both. That drops it to $38 each. Which is $5.45 over melt per coin. That is a good deal, guys. Only $5 each over melt. Oh, $5 and change over melt. And Chef is taking the deal. Congrats, Chef. Plus, on top of that, you have a combined mintage of 127,000. Tequila. All right, next up, got a couple coins from Spain. I've had these in once. I don't remember who. I know somebody said they wanted them. They just didn't have the cash for it that night. This is the 2012 12 euro coin. Possibly the weirdest denomination I've ever heard of. 925 sterling silver BU, $25. So melt on these guys right at the moment. Let's see. 2002 12 euro Spain. See, it's over a half ounce. It's 0.5353 ounce. Current melt value, $19.65. And then we've also got the 2004 of the same coin. So different reverses. If anybody wants both for tonight only, I will do both for 46. That makes them $23 each. Which is $3.45 over melt per coin. Anybody? I'm actually surprised Richard's not jumping on some of these deals. He's some banging deals. All right, moving on. All right, and the last stop around the globe tonight is Mexico. Kicking off with Mexico tonight is the 1948 5 peso. 90% silver BU. Going for 45 bucks. That is a big, thick piece of silver right there. 0.8681 ounces of assayed silver weight in that coin. Which puts its melt value at, let me see. Current melt value on this coin, just the melt value alone, is $31.85. All right, moving on. To 1955 5 peso. This one's in an AU for 18 bucks. 72% silver. All right, moving on. All right, the next two are 1968 25 pesos. They are both BU proof likes and 25 bucks each. That is a Frosty Eagle. Anybody, 25 bucks a piece. All right, moving on. All right, last coin from Mexico and the last world silver coin. 1978 100 peso. 72% silver BU, 28 bucks. That's the big thicker one. moving on. All right, I've got to use the restroom real fast, and then we will be on to American Dimes. Chef, your wait is almost over. I'll be right back. All right. All right, we are kicking off dimes with the barbers. And let me get to the scope. All right, first one up. 1906, extremely fine, 35 bucks. Anybody? You guys have been asking me for nicer barbers. All right, moving on. Hey, Scott. Next up is 11 Denver. And a V-up for 25. Scott, your package went out yesterday. I let everybody know at the beginning of the stream that all the packages went out yesterday that were going out. All right, moving on. Next up, 1911 VF for 20. It's the plain date version. All right, moving on. And the last of the barber dimes is the 1912 EF for 28 bucks. And here is my last big deal, like really big deal of the night. I will do all four. For 88 bucks. That makes me a flat 22 bucks each. And Richard's taking that deal. Grat, sir. 22, 22, 22, 22. All right. All right, so we have part one of the Merc Dime March last week. This week is part two. Next week we'll have some more. I've still got all of these that I've still got to label from that big collection that I got. But we are kicking off. These are actually from that collection. They're just some that was better off just to put them in a bundle. Nope, both of your boxes are still here. You got two large boxes sitting here with all of those world coins split in half between them. Yes, sir. So you got two boxes to finish filling up. Get to work. All right, so this is a 5-coin Mercury bundle. That is from that collection. So you're getting the 1926 plain date VF toned. This one's already going to Chef. 29S EF, but it does have a little reverse damage, which is why it's in the bundle, not being sold separate. 31 plain date VF. Whoa. 39S VF. And 40 Denver VF toned. There you go, Chef. I've never been to Texas. It's not one of the states I have been to yet. By the way, for anybody hoping, the Micro S sold in pre-sale. Yeah, let everybody know that right off the bat. All right, next up is the 1919 in VF. Going for $8. Go back to the scope. Also got some cool toning on it. 1919 plain date. Ain't about it. All right, moving on to the 1920 AU for 15. Check that beauty out. Also a little bit of toning. Yep, that is a stunner. That'd be a high AU too. It's just a little bit of wear right on the highest spots. Even the reverse is almost a full split band. And going to Chef. Congrats, sir. Everybody who's playing, take a shot. Chef just hit Ben. All right, next up. 1925 plain date. VF for 5. Anybody? All right, moving on. All right, both the 27s went in pre-sales, so we are now on the 28 plain date, which is a VF. It's also got toning. Oh, most of these have toning because they're from the same collection. West Side's probably beside himself seeing all this toning tonight. Going for $5, anybody? Where's all my Mercdime folk at all of a sudden? Y'all are cleaning house on these. Since you're already deep in the hole, you'll bend the 5 peso. Are you bending this one too? Was that the second bend? All right, cool. Where'd it go? All right, let me pull that other coin bag out real quick before I forget, so I can put it on your pile. All right. All right, the 30 and 31 went in pre-sale, so we are now on the 34 Denver. $34 Denver VF, $10. By the way, I have not checked any of these for like RPMs, so Some of these could very well come with RPMs, OMMs. I don't check them for doubling. A lot of these years have doubling on them that you can potentially find. I have not checked for any of that. All right, moving on to the 35 Denver VF for 8. All right, moving on to the 36 Denver EF for 8. Going to West Side. Did we find a hole in your collection that just got filled? Right, next up, getting into some really nice ones now. Tons of holes. 1937 AU, $6. 37 plain dates. Going to West Side. Next up, 1940 SBU, $18. That is a stunner. Somebody better give this thing a good home. Going to Chef. Just keep ringing up that tab. At least you work at a restaurant so you can eat there. Next up, 41 Denver AU. Going for 5. Going to West Side. All right, 42 Denver went in pre-sales, so did the Micro S. So this one is the 44 plain date AU, $6. Going to Chef. Gratzer. last of the Mercury dimes for tonight. The 45S AU for 6. Anybody? All right, if anybody wants to do the last remaining merch for tonight on a bundle, I can do $6 off the top. So that'd be $31 for all of them. It's $6 off. It'll be the best bundle I can do. And Dandy Dave's taking that deal. Kratzer. Alright, so that makes that one that. That. Make sure I did this right. Okay. Got it. Dandy Dave. Alrighty. You're very welcome. All right, 3 more coins. Next up is a 1908 Denver Barber Half. It's in good and go for $25. And I'll tell you what, for tonight, I'll go 22. Tonight only. $3 off. Yep, that is one of the better dates. Well, date mint combo. Going to Shep for 22. All right, last 2 coins. are the 2004 Sacagawea proof and the 2006 Sacagawea proof. And I will do $6 if anybody wants both. These rarely make it to the sales. Usually these actually go in pre-sale. So $4 each or $6 for the pair. Excuse me. Anybody? Here's actually an item I had last week, Richard, that you didn't see. I don't think, because you didn't make it last week, did you? Unless you were like lurking in the background. It was one that I know you normally like. It's a almost complete album. It's only missing 1 year of the entire presidential proof dollar set. It's only missing 2016. Still available if you're interested in it. Nobody grabbed it. I know you usually like to pick up the mostly complete albums. And the price I had it at on broke it down to $2.50 a coin. For presidential proofs. Let me look real quick. Last week's list. Yeah, it's only missing 2016, so there's 36 coins in the album. And it's $90. So that breaks down to $2.50 per coin. All right, I will add it to this week's and put your name on it. Let me grab it out real quick so you can at least see it. Get out of my way. All right. So that's the album. And like I said, only missing 2016, and then of course the presidents that haven't died yet, so they don't have coins yet. So there you go. Oh, now I just messed everything up. Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure there's going to be a penny craze happening soon with them winding down on making the pennies. I got a feeling they're probably going to set it up so that 2030 ends up being the last year. That way they just end on an even year. And it'll just be progressively less and less each year. Alright, recap. There's not that much left, guys. There's the 77 Crown from Britain. 925 sterling silver proof, 45 bucks. From Canada, the 250 centers. 58 and 66. All the Australia. Nobody wanted any Australia. The 1976 V 100 shilling Austria. 1936 2 Bolivar Venezuela, and the 212 euros from Spain. That's 2002 and 2004. And Mexico, 1955 5 peso, and both the 25 peso BU proof likes, the 68s, and the 7800 peso BU. Anybody on any of that world silver? You guys are not far from a sellout. You're less than $300, or no, less than $400 away. You're $381 away from a sellout. Probably actually a little bit less, because there's still bundles to be had if anybody wants them. Bundle price for 68 and 78 Mexico. Let's see, 68 BU proof like was 25. I can do that one for... I can only go down to 23. And then I can do 25 on the 100 peso. So it'd be $5 off. So it'd be $48 for both. You got it, sir. All right, so that made that one. What did I say? 20. Said $5 off. Trying to remember what I said. There we go. All right. So let's knock that one down to that. And that one to that. There. Got it. What year is the Mexico 1968 Olympic logo? That would be 1968. I think the tequila's kicking in. All right, anybody else on the world silver? All right, you are now at full price, 338 away from a sellout. And the only other thing left, by the way, other than the world silver, is the two Sacagawea dollars. So I don't even know how I'll do it, but I'll figure out a way to do it. If anybody wants to make it a sellout, I'll just go 300 bucks even. 38 bucks off. I'll just have to figure out how to space it out between everything to make it equal up right. Anybody? $77 crown at 40. You got it. Fell asleep. We're on the recap. All that's left is some world silver and 2 Sacagawea proofs. You are right now $283 away from a sellout right now. And if anybody who just wants to knock it all out at one shot, I can knock 30 bucks off that. So now, that would be 253 bucks for everything. So that would be that one. Both of those. Both of those. That one. That one. Both of those. All of those. And these. Last call. All right, Chef's taking that deal. So I'll just have to go through and do the math on these to figure out how to make that happen, because that's 30 bucks off, I said. Let me see. If I remember right, I was... Oops. All right, there we go. I just got it. Oh, Richard, one other thing you might be interested in from last week that's still available. After I finish filling in all of his stuff here. Actually, you know what? You're getting $32 off. So it's actually $2 less than what I told you. All right. Yeah, Richard, I had 2 of these last week. I sold one. I still have one available. Let me get all this out the way. All right. So it's $75 if you want it. It's an NGC certified. It's actually in a cool case. 1994 Denver 1-cent canceled die. So this is one of the dies that was used to make the 1994 Denver pennies. Certified by NGC as authentic, and it's got the die number on it right there. $2 just for this one, or $2 for your entire total? Just for this one? Yeah, I can do that. I can just invoice you for that one next week. Or send the PayPal request for that one next week. Yeah, I can do that. That's not a problem. I figured you'd like that because it's a cool piece of history. Cool beans. Alright guys, give me a little bit. As like I said, coming up right after this is going to be the giveaways that you guys have been waiting on. And like I said, anybody who got something in, it's for the monthly loot for April and May. And because it's the last one for a while, I wanted to do something cool. So I'm actually doing something for all of you that got stuff out of those 2 months. Plus the one bit of the sellout giveaway from last month. Now you guys get one for next month too. So that is coming up. Give me like 30 minutes to get everything ready for it, and then I'll be back on a new stream doing that. So if you guys want to check that out and be part of that stream, hang out for 30 minutes and jump back on, and we'll be doing some stuff. So see you guys in a bit. And then beyond that, as always, give me a while to get the invoices out. I will see you guys in 30 minutes.